Hey, Bungie, can you do something about this? I know we've been asking for a while, but we've been asking for a while. Want something about this? No, I could buff that for you. No, just three peeking, third person peeking. Can you please just anything? Just even acknowledge that I'm talking to you. Well, this? No, just wait. What are you doing with that?
Welcome back, audience, to another TDT video. Yes, this is an interesting one, but I figured this is something that we should consider doing. And by the way, I apologize if it's a bit echoey. This is a hot take. This is something that we're kind of grabbing off the cuff. And I'm joined here today with the lovely Corn Dog. Well, maybe Salty Dog.
Hi, diddly ho there.
So
no, my PSN's still the same.
PSN's still the same. Okay, good. This is sort of like a mini Yeetcast. If you guys are fans of the channel, have been around for a while, you guys know generally what this is going to be about. The short version is that the recent TWAB came out and there were some good changes, but there are still some things that have not yet been addressed. And I think we as a community tend to get absorbed in the positives and forget to look at the bigger picture. Don't get me wrong, we love this game, right? But one of the things that I think that we as a community have failed to do as of late is to keep Bungie honest, to keep Bungie on track with what the community as a broad scope has been asking for, right? And this last TWAB addressed a lot of things that were complaints and concerns. For me in particular, Arbalist has been one of them as just a general outlier weapon for higher tier PvP play that is just a run killer. It's annoying.
Yeah.
But there are other things that just haven't been mentioned at all. And I know some people are going to say, you're whiny, you're a YouTuber, you just play the game, I'm enjoying myself, and that's great. If you're having fun, that's great. I would love to be having as much fun as you guys have. I've put as much effort as most people have as well, so we're involved with the game, and we're involved with the health of the game more than a lot of the average person would, right?
Yeah, and just to like coming from the other side of that, like I'm not a YouTuber.
Right.
I get to play the game like an hour a day if like I have a day where that's a lot of free time, right? Like I got a lot of shit going on.
Which is why I brought you on.
For that 1 hour to be like so incredibly frustrating, because like I typically spend it playing PvP, right? Like that's what I enjoy in the game. For that 1 hour to have been so incredibly frustrating for so long now, I'm like wholesale kind of done with the game right now.
Yeah, we're as longtime fans of the game and people who've been playing the game. Like I said, for me in particular, I don't know about you, Corndog. You can obviously jump in here, but I've played it since like the beta of Destiny 1. Like I've played this game forever.
Absolutely same.
And as of late, as you've seen from our most popular video, as of late, that the community is not divided. It's the game that's divided right now. The game feels like it's being taken in a direction that is not the greatest, and it seems like right now that Bungie has a lot of tone deafness. So that's the goal of today's video. I know that's a really long intro, but I know that we're gonna get hate in the comments for how dare we make a video criticizing, because it's, we try to be positive, and I am a very optimistic person, but anyway, I could go back and forth on that for a minute. Let's talk about some of the stuff here. The number one thing that wasn't addressed is new items to replace missing archetypes from sunsetting / reworking sunsetting. Like, the community as a whole has been very vocal about their disagreement with sunsetting. I'd say for at least 70% of how it was implemented. I'd say that'd be a fair number. Maybe even more. I'd say personally it's probably closer to more rather than less. But sunsetting has been an issue, and a lot of people have been dissatisfied with how it's been implemented. I've said this before, I am not opposed to the idea of sunsetting. I do believe it's a little bit lazy, but it's fine. In fact, Corndog and I have recently downloaded Hearthstone, and I realized that sunsetting is very similar to how Hearthstone cycles out decks. Like after a certain period of time, certain decks can't be played in standard version anymore, which is very similar to how sunsetting works. And I realized the reason why it works in that game, despite you essentially doing the same thing, you're losing access to certain stuff. You even don't get to keep what is their equivalent of exotics in that game. But what makes it interesting is that new stuff rapidly and aggressively comes in to fill the void, which that has not been addressed, which is
absolutely
my point number two.
It seems like right now it feels like we're watching the game kind of disappear down a drain.
Yeah, it's like getting Thanos snapped very slowly. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's roll on with some more of these points because I don't want this video to be too long, and it very easily could be a 30-minute video. Anyway, next up on the list, anti-cheat was not mentioned. It's been something that the PC community has been mentioning for a while. I know Bungie is trying their best, but honestly, their best isn't good enough. If I'm seeing videos from Lucky every single day regarding a new cheater he's encountered, that should not be that common. And for
it's
us
great too because anti-cheat was not mentioned, but crossplay was.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. That's mildly terrifying, actually. Now that you mention it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anti-cheat wasn't mentioned at all, like at all. And I know it's a hard topic, but nevertheless, you know, it's something that has been an issue for a while that wasn't even given any light in this recent TWAB. Moving forward, there hasn't been, as far as I could tell, and Corndog, you can go through because you read this with me as well. I didn't see anything in there that was explicitly aimed at the more veteran players. They mentioned veteran players, but I don't think I saw anything in there that was like actually like this is for you veteran players. It was just more
no, absolutely.
broad.
Like they showed us this new system, and hopefully, right, there's stuff that we don't know about it. There's stuff that's like tacked onto it that we're gonna get into and see. Oh, cool, this is cool, right? But like from what they've showed us of this new, I can't even remember what it's called, the new bounty replacement thing that they're doing. Like it's just experience, and I think glimmer.
Yeah, from what I've read on it, now we could be wrong. They could knock our socks off with this system, but like that's what I said about sunsetting, right? Like they need to prove us wrong with our opinion of it. They haven't yet, right? So we could be wrong. That this new system could be excellent, but from what it looks like weekly bounties just default. You know, just like hey, here's something that's on the side to the normal weekly bounties. It's just
with a different name because we initially didn't like having them automatically.
Right. So I don't think that's going to solve anything. I think it's just going to be like they're going to pick it up, slap a new coat of paint on it, and say, hey, look, this is new. And I don't think it's going to change anything. But we'll see. We'll see. It depends on how they implement it, right? Anyway, moving forward, another thing that wasn't addressed is the prevalence of high-impact shotguns in the Crucible. In fact, you might actually be seeing gameplay of the Fellwinter's Lie right now being absolutely dominant in the Crucible. And I know that eventually, they'll bring it into the broader loot pool and so on and so forth. But it is
Where my quick draw nerf at?
It is still an ongoing issue, even as somebody who primarily uses a high-impact shotgun, or somebody who uses shotguns in general. I am the biggest proponent of saying high impacts need to have something to bring down their dominance, like I mentioned, dominance in things like PvP. I think that True Vanguard had a great idea, which is just make it so that they can't roll quick draw. That's
absolutely
a great start. Is that going to be everything? Maybe, maybe not, but some steps need to be taken, and currently no steps have been taken whatsoever. All right?
Yeah, just shake it up. Like it might not solve the problem, but it definitely shakes things up for shotguns if you do that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is going to deny the fact that Fellwinters in particular, and all high-impact shotguns are obviously like one of the best, if not the best weapons in PvP, right? So something to address them, or at least give us some more options. Like I would love slug shotguns to be the meta because they feel skillful to both use and to get used against you. And that's a side point. This is more of a personal gripe, so you can write this one off if you would like. Bastion is still kind of an issue, at least here on console.
No. This is an issue now because they just buffed fusion rifles.
That is true. Yeah, they did buff fusions, which I am very cautious about because fusions are like Glacioclasm, right? Is that the name of
yeah.
Crazy good fusion rifle.
This is the buff that's got me like, oh no, they don't even like look at how the game is. They just do this based off of usage numbers or something.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, fusions are low, so we're just gonna give them a range buff.
Which
that
is
means
so
they
confusing.
sit in the exact same place where only high impacts are usable, and Bastion is still the fucking king of them all. Sorry if I'm cursing and you don't want me to, my bad.
It's okay. It's okay. This is a hot take. This video is supposed to be a hot take. So yeah, Bastion,
absolutely. So they're in the same place but worse now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I get it, fusions weren't getting used that much, but that doesn't mean that they're bad. If you've ever been killed by a Glacioclasm from what feels like 30 meters, you know what I'm talking about. Like a good fusion rifle is still, like they still exist out there. I'm okay with them bringing it up as an archetype, but I'm cautious to see where they take it. I'm particularly interested in Bastion though, because at least here on console, it's one of the more sweaty weapons. If you want to just like shut something down, Bastion is a very, very, very powerful choice. Ironically made less powerful lately because of how powerful Stasis is, but that's a whole separate topic. Which brings me beautifully to my next point. Stasis is still ridiculous in PvP. It is still the de facto, if you want to win, you will run Stasis, right? Regardless if it's Hunter, Warlock, or Titan, all three of those subclasses are still incredibly strong. And I know some people are going to disagree with that, but you have to go into a 6v6 match, go into a 3v3 match, pull out your Ghost. I guarantee you, despite the overall amount of the subclasses being significantly less, as in there are only 3 Stasis subclasses, period, in the game, despite the, how many, it was like 27 for like something crazy like that, I guarantee you will see at least half the lobby using Stasis, and that's not because they're still using it because it's new, it's because it's incredibly freaking strong. And again, I'm a big proponent.
And I bet money too, if the people who aren't using it are new light players who don't even have it.
Yeah, and the thing is I'm a big proponent for new stuff. I liked the idea of slows and freezes and all this other stuff. As a whole, I don't dislike the idea of Stasis, but it is very easy to tell that Stasis is still incredibly strong. In fact, you see Cool Guy's video, you've seen Fallout's video talking about how Stasis, at least for Fallout's in particular, that the Shatter Dive combo is still as ridiculous as it was. I think it's pretty sure it's a bug, and it's still ridiculous. The slows from Cool Guy's video can show you how ridiculous slows are in general. And then you've got things like Warlock, which can instant freeze you, which I don't think I need to explain why. Instant freezing a target is ridiculously strong. But overall, again, the overarching thing here is that there was no mention of it whatsoever. Not even if you sit on the other side of the fence and you say, I think Stasis is fine, they should at least address the community concerns. In my opinion, I feel they should at least address the community concerns and give them a nod and say like, hey, we hear what you're saying, we're going to keep an eye on this, right? Sort of like what they did with the changes to, in this TWAB talking about the changes to PC stability, they said we're going to keep an eye on it. And I think that that's what they need to be doing, at least acknowledging the issues that are popping up within the community. Obviously, one of them being, like I mentioned, Stasis. Corndog, anything to add?
Hold on. The PC stability thing. Do you mean they're keeping an eye on it? Because like, do you know what the PC stability change is, right?
Yes, I'm aware of this piece. But my point is that they said that they're going to keep an eye on it. The fact that they acknowledged that they're going to be looking at it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would at least like to have seen that, right? Anyway, rolling right along here. Still, no new game modes for PvP. And I know, you're not a PvP person. I get that. That's fine. We lost maps.
Not just no new game modes, but we lost another game mode. Crimson Days is gone.
Yeah, that's a good point. We lost a whole bunch of maps, and we have yet to get any replacement. We haven't gotten a Beyond Light Europa map yet. And that's the other point here, is there's no new maps for PvP. It brings me to that's point number 8. There's still just a sheer famine within the PvP space. The only thing that we've gotten recently was the changes to how reputation works with shacks, which is great, but I still have to also go through and delete the 21,000 tokens.
Yeah.
Which I'm not getting anything for this new system, by the way, which I have a completely separate opinion on that, but this video promises to be really long, so I'm not going to go into that. But I think you get where I'm going with this, is that there's still not really any love shown in terms of rewarding or, actually giving us new stuff to play with within PvP. They were still, and again, over here in a famine.
I've been starved out of the game mode that I like.
Lastly, I didn't see anything about light-based subclass tuning. I know this is kind of an obscure topic, but it is something that should be addressed. There are certain subclasses, both for PvE and for PvP, that kind of suck, and they need a little bit of love, especially in the light of Stasis, or I guess I should say in the dark of Stasis. I don't know how this works anymore. There's just a handful of classes that just don't make the cut. Like, there's no reason to really play them.
Yeah,
and
not
again,
even close.
Both PvP and PvE, just a simple redo. They were doing reworks, if you guys remember, a while back. They were kind of doing like different patches for the solar arc and void.
The solar season.
Yeah,
and then they abandoned it after the solar one.
We haven't really gone back and done any major reworks on any of this stuff, and it's sorely needed. So anyway, you want to say the outro line, Corndog?
There's an outro line?
There's an outro. Have you not seen the end of the videos? I'm upset.
I mean, I'm sure I have, but
I'll say it.
Bro.
Bless your faces. and
Oh
deuces.
yeah, that thing. Yeah. Bless your faces and deuces.
Thank you.